Hey guys, it's Fleccas. This week we're in down.
That was me.
Hey guys, it's Fleccas. This week we're in downtown Los Angeles at Candace Owens BLEXIT LA event. We're going to talk to some folks inside and find out why Black and Latino Americans are leaving the Democrat Party. Let's see what's going on.
What you have with this BLEXIT rally, this first major BLEXIT event, is you have black people, you have white people, you have Latino people, you have so many people that are in here, gays and lesbians as well, and we are joined by our love of America.
The misconception is that this party is not the party of diversity, that only the Democrats are diverse, when in reality, the Republican Party has become way more diverse in where it matters, in the mind. That's where true diversity lies, diversity of thought.
I've been a Republican all my life, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. And so, being from a Democrat stronghold, I like to consider myself like Blade, I have all of a Democrat's strength, but none of their weaknesses,
Tonight is really about having those conversations that the media refuses to have with us about what's actually going on in our communities. Because I'll tell you, it is not racism that is keeping us out of the American dream. It's the lies that we've been told that is keeping us out of the American dream. It is us marrying ourselves to a party that does not care about us that is keeping us out of the American dream.
What's happening in the black community is urban legend. It's really urban legend. They hear something, somebody tells them something, and it just becomes ingrained in the community because there's nobody to tell them anything different. You go to the grocery store, everybody around you thinks the same way. You go to work, everybody around you is thinking the same way. If you happen not to think that way, everybody around you going to jack you up.
Was it harder to come out as a gay man or as a conservative?
It's been harder to come out as a conservative because I didn't lose friends when I came out as gay. I lost friends when I came out as conservative. I was iced out of social circles in New York City. The blowback from the LGBT community has been the most visceral and the most rude and the most hateful.
They've never been able to bully people like myself, and I'm happy to finally see the rest of my, bracket, my ethnicity bracket, those with my paint job, finally grow a set and say, you know what, enough is enough. You guys have been promising me this, you've been promising me that. You show up at my churches, with your fake Southern accents, talking about hot sauce in your purse, telling me you're going to promise me the moon and the stars, and then nothing gets done. I'm done.
I don't have to tell you guys in this room because we figured it out. We figured out that the left is lying to us. We figured out that liberals are lying to us. We figured out that they are using us to secure votes and to keep themselves in power and to keep themselves rich, right? Minorities have been used in this country. And all of that changes today.
I was raised a Democrat. My grandma used to work for the president in El Salvador. And growing up, we were told that the Democrats were for us, the people. And we've always voted Democrat all our lives until President Trump said that he was going to run. We didn't really know who he was, but we saw our choices. And because the choices were not good, we decided to try something new. And thank God that he's more than we expected. And he is actually doing everything that he said that he was going to do. And we appreciate everything that he's doing.
I don't really like Trump, and I'm here because I don't like him as a guy personally, but I'm here because I can accept the truth that comes out of the right's mouth. Even though I grew up a Democrat, I grew up on the left, and this is just a refreshing thing for me personally.
It's really refreshing to see all these young people finally get it. It's an aha moment. You know what I mean? Aha, because let's face it, some of the people, because they fall for the doctrine and they get triggered. Some of these very same people called me a coon or Uncle Tom, and that's okay. I forgive them because now they realize the fire is burning closer to their area.
To tell you the truth, and when you really talk to a lot of black people or a lot of people in general, like our lives did not get better under Barack Obama. It was very nice that there was this beautiful family in the White House, and it was very nice that there were all the magazine covers and all that. But fundamentally, the things that really needed to change in America did not change. As a matter of fact, some things got worse. And I think that the complete failure of the Obama administration is why so many people are waking up, especially black people. I voted for Barack Obama twice. So did, and I think that Candace said she voted for him twice, and Tatum voted for him twice. So what is it that you have all of these young black people that voted for the first black president twice, but now we're coming over to the conservative side?
What has woken the black community up thus far has been President Trump. He has looked past the media, he's looked past CNN and the other fake news outlets and said, you've been voting Democrat 50, 60, almost 70 years. It's gotten you nothing. You're poorer. You're more impoverished. You're more of you are in prison. The family unit has been obliterated. Academically, you guys are at the bottom. And this is all thanks to the party that you claim is your champion. Well, nothing's gotten better, clearly. So what do you have to lose? Take a chance on me. And black people start to say, well, you know what? Maybe he's not 100% wrong.
What bothers me now is the lies that they tell us in the community, which creates the hatred and animosity that gets us killed. I'm serious. When they lie to you so much and they get you believing that there's people in your community that want to kill you, they want to harm you, incarcerate, take your freedom away, it's going to make you mad. And the lies that they're perpetuating is causing people to be more aggressive. They pull you over for a traffic stop, you don't want to roll your window down. Oh, no, bro, I ain't got to do this. And they telling people how to disobey police and law enforcement. It's creating a negative vibe, which is causing chaos and confusion.
There's nobody angry in here. Nobody's mad. Hey, look, we don't have anything to be mad about. We're good. We just want to live our lives in peace. You're the ones that are out there protesting, blocking the streets, blocking the freeways where mom can't get her baby to the hospital because you mad. What you mad about? You live in the United States of America. Come on now.
So what brings you here today? I see your sign. What does your sign say?
All right, so my sign says, Candace thinks you're too poor for Congress.
And what does that mean?
This was based on her tweet to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, where she said she was irresponsible and untrustworthy because she had trouble affording her new apartment in D.C. And I just thought it was very elitist to criticize her for not being able to afford rent in two of the most expensive cities in America. So how is like a public school teacher going to be able to run for Congress if you're going to be immediately put down because of your finances, personal finances,
Do you think Candace was coming from an elitist place when she said that?
I felt so.
Do you think Candace has she didn't come from a wealthy background. She's not necessarily the richest person, the most privileged person. She did have some things to overcome herself. Do you think that plays a role and that should be relevant in this conversation?
That's actually a very good point. That might actually change my opinion, really. But I just felt she used it as really an excuse to attack socialism. It was really more of like a talking point than it was like a direct insult.
You look at, the mainstream media, they're constantly bashing Trump and Republicans and all this kind of stuff, racist, all that kind of thing. But the thing is that if you're not really into politics at all, you're just going to get that as your message, and you're just going to assume, Republicans, conservatives, they're just racist, right? They don't want the best for me. While conservatives, the message really is we want to shrink federal government so that the power can really belong and move towards the people at a localized level.
More government sounds appealing, even though it ends up hurting us in the end. And I think what this movement is creating is more people who are countering that message and making it more appealing to young people.
Well, I'm a social worker. I have a degree in social work, and so I've seen it firsthand where they want to give you so much, and it's allowing us not to really rise up above that. So it's all about, they'll say, here's your helping hand and more, whereas I'm all about, here's your helping hand, but I also want you to help you up as well. And in the community that I worked in social work, I just felt like there's so many disparities, and there's just putting a Band-Aid, and they're not really solving the problem. And to us, in the black community, you think, okay, well, they're paying for my housing, they're paying for my food, but it's like Jesus. He had to show them how to fish. He's not just giving them fish. You're going to run out. You got to figure it out.
I do feel that Democrats have made more of an effort regarding race relations. They don't try to ignore race by saying, oh, I'm colorblind. Everybody has the same opportunities, even though that's, factually inaccurate when it comes to, things like prison sentencing. People if you're black, you're more likely to have longer sentences.
To be fair, wasn't that mostly from Bill Clinton, 3-strike rule, super predators? Wasn't that kind of done at that time by the Democrats?
You're right, very right. And actually, I'm very happy about the bipartisan criminal justice reform that was passed. I'm really happy about it.
Absolutely. What are the hopes of the BLEXIT movement, bigger picture down the road? What do you think can happen to the Black and Latino voting communities, along with pretty much anyone else who's been apolitical the last few years?
I think what's going to happen is those percentages that we're seeing what, over 90% blacks vote Democrat and then over 67% Hispanics vote Democrat. I think that we're going to see a big shift in that, especially when we're looking now and seeing that the approval rating of President Trump is over 50% among Hispanics, which is huge because, as we know, the whole issue with immigration has been only really a polarized issue with this administration because in previous administrations they were upholding the very same policies. So why are they doing that? Well, maybe it's because, according to PHispanic.org, Hispanic Americans, specifically Mexicans, are the largest voting minority. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go ahead and make them single-issue voters, and then we have our cat in the bag for 2020.
You're watching Telemundo, Univision, and they're telling you how bad Donald Trump is, and they're telling you that Donald Trump is going to come and knock on your door and you're going to go back to Mexico. I had so many people tell me when they found out that I voted for Trump. I've been a lifelong Republican, why wouldn't I? But people were telling me that I was going to get deported, and I thought, where am I getting deported to? I'm an American citizen. And I think the biggest misconception you get from them is they're telling you the narrative, which is a false narrative. It's fake news.
We do not believe the fake media. We do not believe in anything the Democrats are saying. We believe strongly that Americans should always come first.
When a lot of people think about illegal immigration, we don't realize that working class black people are affected by illegal immigration the most. These are the jobs that are the first to get taken, which is so funny to me that I see all of these black Democrats running around the cable news networks basically advocating for open borders. And they're supposed to represent black people, but they don't represent me, and they don't represent a lot of the people that live in these communities that are devastated by it.
We see the correlation of the drug running that's happening in our communities. I mean, you had Jesse Rojas up there, who's the founder of BLEXIT, who's literally in a wheelchair because of a drive-by shooting. He can tell you firsthand that within these lower-income communities, that gang culture is very prevalent. How do the gangs get power? It's via drugs. What causes the turf war? Fighting over drug territory. Where are the drugs coming from? Oh, I don't know, 99.8% are coming from Mexico. And yes, there's a correlated issue with an open border and these drugs coming into this country.
Thank you, President Trump, for putting the American agenda first, because we really need a wall, and it's all about the American people. Thank you, President Trump.
I want to thank you, Trump. I've been a huge supporter even before you ran for president. I used to say I was going to be the next Donald Trump as a kid. And, I want to say MAGA, and I love what you're doing.
I love my country, and I love my president, Donald Trump.
I love you, President Trump.
President Trump, we love you. We support you.
I served under Ronald Reagan in the United States Air Force. I'm a former peace officer, and I own a small business. I loved Ronald Reagan, but now it's a toss-up. Who's better? Is Reagan going to ultimately be the best president, or is Donald J. Trump going to be the best president?